Hello everyone, my name is Jess Missener from OffMetaBuilds, and today I would like to present to you my Bleed Rake Ritualist build. Now, I'd like to start by saying I'm not the original creator of this build, however I did change some things to make it a little cheaper, a little bit more accessible. I want to give credit to FG Corbin21 on YouTube. I'll put links to his YouTube channel and his max roll guide for this build in the description. His version of the build is definitely more complex. He's using multiple weapon sets, different skill points associated to each weapon set, and it's definitely not beginner friendly. So I made a few changes to make it a little more beginner friendly and a little bit cheaper. I think I'm in a total of about 2.5 divines into this character. And I've been using it, this has been my main character throughout the league. I've been using it to farm, I've been using it to fund my other characters and other builds that I've been trying. And so, yeah, I'll put links in the description to the original build that inspired this one. So yeah, let's go over the build and kind of what's happening here. So we're running double Herald tech, and we're applying bleeds with Rake. This build, I've been lucky with my magic finds, and I've gotten a lot of 5 links. You can run this build with 4 links, it's totally fine. I did for a while. But essentially what's happening here is we're applying bleed with our Rake. Our Herald of Blood, we have socketed with Envenom and Hemocrystals, as well as Bursting Plague and Reach. So what's happening here is when we're using our Rake to engage the enemies, it's applying a bleed, which is proccing our Herald of Blood. Our Herald of Blood is activating our Hemocrystals. Our Hemocrystals activates the Herald of Plague, and it kind of results in this cascade of bleeding on the screen. Along with that, we're activating blood boils all over the ground. So while you're mapping, you'll see as the enemies pop, you'll see these little blood boils all over the map, and it just results in like a cascade of bleeding throughout the map. So you pretty much just rake into packs. I'll show a little demo of what it looks like when we're fighting in packs shortly here, but you're pretty much just raking into a pack, disengaging out and watching the blood fly. So we're running double Herald tech for our mapping. And then our bossing. Now, you don't have to do this, but I like to switch my concentrated effect and my heavy swing for magnified effect and inspiration. So this right here is my bossing setup, heavy swing and concentrated effect. So our Rake we're socketing with deep cuts, and this is in priority, right? So if you only have 4 slots, you'll go to here. But we're socketing into Rake, deep cuts, ambush, heft. And then for our mapping, we're going with For our mapping, we're going with our magnified effect and our inspiration. We want the cheaper cost. This build is pretty mana hungry. And then when we're bossing, we put in our concentrated effect and our heavy swings. And what bossing looks like is this build has a decent amount of critical hit chance. I could get more. Where's my crit? So 27% right now. The way it looks when we're bossing is we apply Sniper's Mark. We pretty much only have Orb of Storms to gain Rage. So before our boss, we want to stack our Rage as high as we can before we engage. When the boss is able to be engaged, we hit him with a Sniper's Mark, and we pretty much just rake into, and you'll see, I'll show you a clip, when the boss gets hit with a critical bleed, the health just melts. The boss's health just melts. So we hit him with Rake, disengage out, and then we're going to Blood Hunt for an execute. And our Blood Hunt, we have pretty much set this up to execute. So we have momentum in our Blood Hunt. We have Bloodlust for the extra physical damage. We have Close Combat, just more attack damage. And then we consume armor to deal the extra damage, and our execute. So that's kind of our execute setup. One thing that's important, so I went Ritualist for 2 reasons here. Number 1 is Blood Boil. So essentially what it does is it just leaves these extra little blood boils on the ground. It really helps us with our clear. And the other reason, I wanted the extra ring socket. Essentially, this here is our one mandatory unique right here. Just the increased magnitude of bleeding is really, really important. I'll go over the gearing in a little bit here. But yeah, essentially, sorry, back to our skills. Our blood boil, we pretty much just sock it with persistence for the skill duration, and acrimony, I pronounced that wrong, but our defensives are Ghost Dance and Wind Dancer, a very standard setup. We're putting Fast Forward and Cannibalism in Ghost Dance, and our Wind Dancer we're putting in Maim, Blind, and Wind Wave. Our Disengage we keep at level 1. I have a bunch of modifiers to the gem, but from global modifiers. But you want to keep this low. You want to quality it because you have faster disengage times, but you want to keep it low for the cost. And we're pretty much just putting in our Ingenuity for reduced time, Martial Tempo so it's quicker, and Unbreakable. And the Orb of Storms, this is our Rage Builder. We're socketing in Font of Rage, Font of Blood, and Font of Mana. This is just our Sustain and our Rage Builder. And then Sniper's Mark, of course, we're putting in Singled Out. For the Armor Broken, we're putting in Arcane Tempo, and we're putting in Demolisher. So I will go over what this looks like. Like I said, I'll probably clip in a few demonstrations here of what it looks like when we are mapping and when we're bossing. Like I was saying, I'm about 2.5 divines in here. This spear I made, but you want something physical. Physical damage is important. You want the physical damage. You want critical hit chance. That's really important. Level to melee skills, and critical damage bonus is nice, but you would essentially look for physical damage, crit chance, and melee skills. We're going kind of a hybrid energy shield max or energy shield life evasion for our defensives. We're looking for spirit. This build is spirit hungry. We're running 2 heralds. We're running Wind Dancer and Ghost Dance. It is a spirit hungry build. So yeah, making sure you find gear with spirit. I'm not sure what a chest piece with 50 spirit costs now, but when I got it, it was not very expensive. Our gloves, primarily you're looking for physical damage is really nice. Melee skills is important. I like rarity. This build is rocking 113% rarity. I think it's pretty good. It's been nice. Like I said, I've had no issue with farming. I think I got lucky with the Ingenuity. I've seen people in trade constantly offering free Ingenuities. The guy who gave me this, he was like, how many do you want? He put 5 in my inventory, and I didn't want to be greedy, so I only took 1. I'm kind of regretting it. I should have took 2. My next build I'll showcase on the channel could really use 1, but I do see people giving them away. I'll probably just, next time I see someone giving 1 away, just hit them up and ask. We are running, so Ingenuity on the belt. These I like, the Beetle Bite boots. Aggravated bleeding is really nice. We're really focusing on bleed with our build. So having the aggravated bleeding is nice. It's not mandatory whatsoever. You can just run 35 move boots. We're looking to cap out our resistances. I would like to cap my chaos. It's not yet. There's room for improvement on this version of the build for sure. But physical damage to attacks is really important. Capping out our resistances is really important. And our buckler is, again, mine's primarily 4 resistances, some max life, and some evasion. So yeah, gearing hasn't been too challenging on this character. He is pretty mana hungry. Now, or I guess she is pretty mana hungry. I went for Ritualist because I like Blood Boil and I like the third ring socket, but you could easily pull this off on an Amazon. You could pull this off on a Blood Mage. You could pull this off on a Chronomancer if you want more sustain. I personally think Chronomancer is probably the tankiest Ascendancy this league. I have a video that I'll be putting out next for a Chronomancer build, and the sustain is so unbelievably high. I could stand there in a pack of mobs on a tier 15 map and just let them beat the crap out of me while I'm talking to you, and they wouldn't be able to kill me. So I don't have much in the way, I don't have any in the way of life regen. If I did, I probably would spec out of Ritual Sacrifice and into the Wildwood Persistence just for the recovery. I went into Ritual Sacrifice because I kind of like the fantasy of the Ritualist. It's fun when you get a group with like 2 or 3 rare mobs in there, and you kill them all, and then you just sacrifice them, and you have like 9 modifiers on you. It can get pretty nutty when you have like haste and invulnerability aura and the slowing field and extra damage. Like it can get pretty nutty, but it's not important really at all. It's not mandatory for the build. I would start immediately and get Blood Boil, and then I would work my way down here to get the bonus from rings. You could argue that getting the third ring slot is more important, and it very well could be. I think I went Blood Boil first and then down this way. I kind of followed the skill tree for the original creator of the build. I made some changes because I'm not using weapon sets. But yeah, I will, like I said, I'll splice in some footage of mapping, what killing mobs looks like, how it plays. But yeah, it's really fun. I've really been loving this build. This has been my what I've been maining this league, and yeah, ton of fun. My friend plays Lightning Spear, and I've run a few maps with him, and it's a meta build, right? Lightning Spear's meta. It absolutely decimates. But I've had no issue playing this. I've had a ton of fun playing this. Yeah. So with that being said, I'll put in some footage here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. If there's any off-meta builds that you like, that you want me to explore and dig into on this channel, let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to jump into whatever builds you guys want to see. I guess I should go over leveling real quick. Leveling this character, I pretty much just did Ziggy's Bleed Rake Huntress leveling guide up until I got to Act 3 in Cruel, and I got the final amount of spirit that you can get through the campaign. Once I got that spirit, I switched over to this version of the build. But yeah, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys next video. Okay, so while we're mapping, what it looks like is we're pretty much just breaking and jumping out with disengage, breaking, jumping out with disengage, rolling through any damage, and then we're executing with our blood. So rake, disengage, and the bleeds will pretty much just take care of everything. Once one thing dies from the rake, it's just going to pop bleeds all over the screen. And that's kind of our mapping experience. We're sort of breaking, disengaging out, and jumping in with our execute. We don't even need to execute, we're pretty much just executing. I mean, if you want to, the bleeds will finish everything off. But execute, saving the execute, or using it on a rare is really quite nice. It's a nice gap closer should you need it. For a rare, we're going to hit with Sniper's Mark. But our Rake is a nice gap closer. As well. And our disengage kind of gets us out of trouble. This build is very mana hungry, so we're going to Sniper's Mark and jump out. And pretty much on harder enemies, we're just jumping in with Rake, we're allowing the blade to do its work. We're jumping out with disengage, and we are using our Bloodhunt for our execute. I'm going to go up and grab that rare modifier. So that's what? Enraged, Energy Shield. So it's not necessary to play this style, but it's really nice. Sometimes you get packs that have really nice modifiers. And if you can gather 2 or 3 of them together and use your Ritual Sacrifice on them to get those modifiers, it's super nice. Sniper's Mark, we're going to disengage, and I don't know if you saw how fast the bleed killed that thing, but when we're hitting a Sniper's Mark, when we're hitting a target with Sniper's Mark, we'll get a snapshotted bleed. So what that means is the bleed, it does, basically its damage is maximized. We get a massive bleed on the target. If you hit that target with another Rake, you'll override your big bleed with a smaller one. So I'll show you on a boss when we get to the boss. You're pretty much just Sniper's Mark, disengage out, carve them up for extra modifiers. There's another one too. Modifiers. So I know it's not as fast-paced as Lightning Spear, but I found it to be incredibly fun and satisfying. It's really nice. It's got really great clear speed, and it does really respectable boss damage as well. So. There's a boss on this map up here. Okay. So when we get a little closer to the boss, we'll talk about the boss. Okay, so before we go in on a boss, I like to replace our magnified effect with concentrated effect. And I like to put heft in as opposed to inspiration. So our damage is increased significantly here with these two. So is our mana cost, but yeah, we'll jump right into a boss. So what I like to do before the boss starts, I like to get my rage as high as I can. I like to hit him with a Sniper's Mark. I like to Rake until we pop that bleed, and again with Sniper's Mark. Crowbell's kind of a weird boss to showcase because I've never been able to kill him in one phase. He always phases out before I can. So we're gonna hit him again with Sniper's Mark. Trying to just pop. Oh. That wasn't really the best boss to show off bossing on, but essentially, if my crit was a little bit higher when I put Sniper's Mark on, what you're looking for is you're looking for your Rake to consume the Sniper's Mark, and you'll be able to just see their health diminish rather quickly.